Beklager, hva er klokka?
It's 10:30. I'm sorry, I don't speak Norwegian, but I understood what you were asking.
Oh yes, sure, I understand. I thought you were just Norwegian. Thank you very much.
Really?
Yeah, you have like the blonde hair, blue eyes. You look really like Norwegian for me.
Oh, I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. This is the situation where I get quite often here while staying in Norway. People just approach me and they start speaking Norwegian, and then they say, "Oh my god, you look like Norwegian, this is why I was talking to you in Norwegian." And I guess this is where I decided that I should most probably make a video about stereotypes, because I look like Norwegian stereotype. Blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, and I'm quite tall. So let's look into that a little bit. And another thing related to me in Scandinavia. Let's start. Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you weren't too much disturbed about this funny introduction. If you actually felt it was funny, press those likes and let's just start. Yes, today we are kind of trying to understand the most stereotypical things about Norwegian people, mainly concerning their appearance. So the blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, which kind of also suits me. And before we start to discover a lot of interesting stuff about these stereotypes, I actually did some research regarding myself, because I kind of fit to these stereotypes too, so maybe I'm a little bit Scandinavian. The first thing actually that kind of made me quite suspicious that I could be Scandinavian a little bit is my surname. So my surname is Martinsson. The letter E at the end, it's just like Latvian writing rule, which shows that I'm a female. So if I was a man, I would be Martinssons, and S showing that I'm a male. So in general, whatever Martinsson sounds very Scandinavian. So I did a little research about the surnames, the Scandinavian ones, and I came across with the fact that Danish and Norwegian usually have the surnames ending with sen, and sen showing that it's a male, and datter, which shows that it's a daughter. So if we look from this perspective to my surname, I'm definitely not Norwegian or Danish, but if the surname ends with son, this means I could be a little bit Swedish. So I called my gran, you know, like,
Gran, maybe you know some stories, maybe there's some Scandinavian stuff in our ancestry.
And then she told me this. Hold on. So her grandma, which is basically my grandma, her surname before marriage was Jurgensen. And when she got married, her surname was Grandson. Yeah, again son. So definitely there is something Swedish happening there. But yeah, all in all, I think I'm pretty much a little bit Swedish, which maybe explains how I look. And it actually excites me a lot, because maybe that explains why I'm so drawn to Scandinavian countries. Why do I feel so good here? Why do I feel like I belong here? It's such a great revelation. What do you think? Do I look like Swedish girl? And now that we know that I'm actually most probably a little bit Scandinavian, let's jump into the topic about the stereotypes that are usually related to Norwegians. When I say Norwegian, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Apart from the Vikings. That's another story, maybe another video if you would like. But like the typical Norwegian definitely would come into your mind with blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, you know, very tall person. That's like the usual stereotype. And people, I guess, sometimes think that here in Norway the Norwegians are walking around like these elves with blonde hair, like Orlando Bloom in Lord of the Rings, or I don't know, the ladies are looking like Daenerys from the Game of Thrones. No guys, it's not like that. Although there are so many Norwegians who do really look like them, and they really look so cute. But in real life there are different nationalities living in Norway. There are people with different eye colors, hair color, skin color, and all of this just makes things even more interesting and more beautiful. And then I decided to do a little digging into the stereotypes to debunk or maybe learn something more, and I came up with some interesting stuff. So hold on, put your likes in advance, check if you have already subscribed, and let's just start. I wanted to know actually which population from which country is considered the tallest. And I came across with the fact that for many years Dutch people are actually considered the tallest people in the world, and their average height is calculated around 175.62 centimeters, which is quite tall, and this means that I could also come from Netherlands. But an interesting fact is that Scandinavians always are included in the top places of these researches that are looking into the tallest populations in the world. So Danish people, Swedish people, and also Norwegians are always somewhere up there in the top list. And when I try to understand why do Scandinavians are so tall, one of the facts that are mentioned and how they explained why Scandinavians are so tall is related to their diet, from their heritage, and also to natural selection. And to conclude, of course, Norwegians, not all of them are tall, they're shorter, they're middle tall people, very tall people. It's normal, let's not generalize. Let's not say that all Norwegians are titans or giants or whatever. And the second thing I wanted to talk was the blonde hair, the pale skin, and the blue eyes that also I happen to have. And there are several theories why it actually is like that. And I will just mention two of the most popular, and it doesn't mean that I actually believe in any of them, but I'm just stating the facts that I have read. So the first theory is that it kind of came from the natural selection. So people started to, in the old times, people started to move more to the north, and their bodies changed according to the weather conditions, the climate, and their lifestyle. Meaning their skin became more pale because the pale skin acquires vitamin D more better. And as we know, in the north there are less sunshine days, more dark days. The people with the darker skin, they weren't able to survive as much as the people with the pale skin. And this is why the blonde and pale skin gene kind of prevailed over the dark skin gene, and this is why there are so many light-skinned, blonde and blue-eyed Norwegians nowadays in Norway. And not only, of course, in the whole Scandinavia. So that's the one theory, which in my opinion sounds quite believable. The second theory though is more adventurous and more interesting, if I can say like that, because it's related a little bit to the things we like about Norway, Vikings. So this theory states that the blonde gene was spread out throughout Norway and also in other Scandinavian countries thanks to sexual selection. So let's start from the beginning. At first I read that actually Vikings weren't all blonde at all as it was considered before. They were red hairs and dark hair people, and when there was some kind of blonde woman noticed, they considered that this blonde woman is something very exceptional, very beautiful, and so they went for it. And so they wanted to produce these beautiful blonde angel-like kids, and this is why they were going after these blonde women and trying to make more blonde population, if I can say like that. I mean, you know where is it going. Yeah, they were really into blonde ladies. Sounds quite awkward, but maybe that was the thing. I don't know. Crazy, but Vikings are crazy also, so makes sense. But speaking about Vikings and blonde, I came across with this article and it stated quite an interesting fact actually. So hold on. Vikings were actually, they were dyeing their beard and hair blonde. I mean, yeah, it sounds as crazy as it is, because some archaeologists say that Vikings actually were dyeing their beard and hair with, I don't know how to pronounce it, lye, whatever, it's like some kind of natural material coming from wood, and they were using it as soap or sometimes against lice. So, and it also colored their beard and hair blonde. And maybe they just liked the result, and afterwards they were using it like some kind of fashionable thing. And this maybe also kind of connects with the fact that why we are perceiving all of the Vikings were kind of blonde. I don't know, but I mean, if it's true, it's fun to know that men were dyeing their beard and hair even in those times. How do you think? Is it actually possible? Write down in comments. And to sum up this video, I just wanted to say, I think it's quite cool that Norway is so inclusive towards different nationalities, and they accept them and they become like Norwegians, like normal Norwegians living here. So I'm one of them and I'm really thankful to be here. So tusen takk, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I tried to make it a little bit entertaining and not so serious, so that you understand that stereotypes are always quite funny. I mean, it's not even about how you look, it's about what you have here. That being said, enjoy your day. I hope it's sunny, really autumnish and beautiful. Love you tons. Subscribe to the channel and see you next time. Woo!